Well, today's the last day for parents to apply for grade 1 and grade 8 places in the Gauteng Education's online system. Applicants who fail to submit documents will lose their positions in the queue. Gauteng Education Spokesperson Steve Mabona joins us now. Steve, so how's it been going so far? What's been the reaction to it?
Look, it's been, doing very well. The system, I guess you would know that in the past 2 years we had glitches, but now, when we started on the 16th of April, system went very well, though we had some technical, challenges. Some will not call them glitches, where parents will, have, wrong addresses. Some will, struggle with a sibling page, which was resolved, And moving forward, parents interacted with the system very well. I mean, we have recorded over 535,000 applications, which gives you an indication that, look, parents are, they are confident about our system, and our call center has been assisting those that are struggling. And we are actually ready for the placement period, because what we are saying, after shutting down the system midnight, we will then focus on the placement period. That is, the schools will finalize the lists as they've been doing. Those parents who are still, outstanding in terms of documentation, they need to do that, because we have the 5th of June as a, deadline.
What happens if they don't?
If they don't, they will then lose the queue, because you'll understand that our system will indicate that you applied at this time and you stand a chance of being placed first. So you will then lose the queue. We're not going to do away with you, but you lose the queue. So it means automatically we'll move someone upwards, and they will be considered for space. So when we are done with those lists, we start with the process, make sure that we interact with the relevant stakeholders in the districts and head office, just to verify, check, and then we place on the 18th of July. Parents need to look out for an SMS of placement, which will be saying, here is an offer, whether you need to accept or decline. We have 7 days to do that, because if you don't, probably then you will lose the space.
So if they decline and they want their kids to be moved to another school, what do you do?
No, unfortunately,
there's no choice.
We've placed you, you need to either accept or decline. And if you need, another school, then we'll entertain you at a later stage. But unfortunately, you will understand that we need to plan. We need to make sure that learner material is ready. Those that are being transported, we must make sure that we plan ahead. And you will understand that the schools that we have received, low turnout, when you look at the numbers of applications in the system. I mean, the schools that have less than 50 applications, less than 100, those schools, we're going to interact with them and check on what the challenges are. But in some instances, you will know that in January, we'll be sitting with probably a number of people who will come and say, we need space. We'll accommodate them, but unfortunately, they won't have any choice, or the choice will not be much, because we don't want to overcrowd schools. We want to make sure that there's some, space. Educators are happy to teach, so that we don't overcrowd the schools.
So these schools which have low numbers, I mean, obviously it might be problematic because parents have concerns about why their child should not go there. People would want the best education for their kids. So how do you actually address that as a concern for parents who say, I don't want my kid to go to this school because of X, Y, and Z?
Definitely. MEC will tell you that those schools you will need to revisit and check whether do you still need to continue or convert those schools to be some centers, because you will understand that the classes that we have in Gauteng, they are enough to accommodate everyone. But the shortage that we have is the quality schools. Hence, we want to, grade our schools and make sure that we know when we say the school is the best, what is it that we are looking at, so that parents are empowered. But what we are saying, we're going to interact with the SGBs. We are meeting SGBs on Saturday, with the MEC, just to orientate them on what is it that we expect, from them in the environment. Look at those schools that they are in the high pressures, schools that there's demand, your single medium, schools, where we need to go and interact with them and consult them, because the Overval case, taught us, that the judge said we did not consult much. So there's a team that is going to go out to all these schools where there's a demand, look at the numbers and say to them, look, the numbers are telling us that there's a demand. So how are we going to accommodate other people that need to utilize the school? Because we cannot have schools that will on a continuous basis exclude people, because we have other races that are residing in the areas where you have this single medium school. Yeah. So we can't, the situation cannot really continue where you're going to have only African school in a certain area where other races are there, they need to access the school, but they can't because it's only Africans there.
Lots of focus has been put on the single medium language schools, and that's warranted, of course, for various reasons. But what do you do when it comes to poor performing schools that need help with proper teachers or better teachers, that need better facilities to actually teach pupils properly? When do you focus on that as a priority?
No, look, admissions, this process, is an empowerment to us as the department, because it's more about numbers. We are looking at the numbers, which will then inform you that if a school is not doing well, you will then go and say, how do we assist them? You will understand that when coming to the performance of learners, we have what we call a school improvement program, where during any recess, we take, the learners through the process of enhancement, look at the facilitators that are going to assist, learners in different subjects, problematic subjects, and those subjects that we see that probably we need to enhance. As you will know that, we are against the, the maths literacy. We are not fond of that because we specialize in Gauteng. We're opening schools of specializations. So we can't expect learners to go and specialize in aviation, specialize in nuclear, in any other form of specialty, but then you want them to do maths literacy. So we want pure maths. So those that are challenged, we enhance them and make sure that we improve. So educators, they are on a continuous basis trained or being empowered. When we find space, we do that, and it's an overall process where we improve and make sure that in us we're more about the provisioning of quality education in Gauteng. Hence, we are moving and making sure that each and everything we do, we think about the quality of education. We are not competing with other provinces as Gauteng. We compete with the world, as you will see on how we do things. So we want to infuse an element of competing with the world, so that we then set our targets very high for the improvement of our education in Gauteng.